Here is every single glitch discovered in the new Terraria X Palworld update and all of the old ones that are still unpatched. This is going to be a longer video because there was a lot of glitches added recently. Alright, what's good guys? We have dungeon loot glitches, boss pal defeating glitches, old XP glitches, and some glitches even with the new Terraria items. You guys absolutely spam my comments with patch whenever I upload one of these guys, so I'm telling you now, if there hasn't been a new update since the last one, none of these are patched. Don't make me crash out, boys. If the game hasn't been updated, the glitches are still in here. It's that simple. And to be honest, Pocket Pair usually doesn't patch glitches anyway, so even if the game has been updated, there's like an 80% chance that these are still available. This video is going to be featuring all kinds of glitches still available, old and new, so if you've already seen one of these and you want to skip it, these are the time codes in the description. Now the first glitch we're going to get into, this is one of the rare few that I think they actually are going to get patched ASAP. Like I said earlier, they don't really care about 90% of the glitches, but when it has to do with dungeons and loot and everything, they usually get rid of these pretty quickly. Especially since it involves the Terraria collab, I would not be surprised if this glitch is out of the game within the next week. This glitch lets you skip the entire dungeon and just get the chest without having to worry about navigating the maze or dealing with the annoying pals. So if you want to get all the new legendary items very easily using this glitch, I would hurry up and do this ASAP, because like I said, this is probably on the top of their priority list to patch. So to do this glitch, it's really easy. All you're going to have to do is come over to the new sealed realm of Terraria at coords -420 and -800, and we're just going to enter the dungeon. Now make sure you have a flying pal. I'm going to be using Jet Dragon, but just make sure you have any pal that you can fly on, and this glitch should be pretty easy. Now, right when you enter the dungeon, there's a few ways to go over this really fast, which I will mention in a little bit, but all you're going to have to do is hop on your Jet Dragon and go right back in the portal. If you move in kind of like a circular motion over here as you're shifting and going out the top, you should be able to glitch right out of it. So this looks really cool. It kind of blacks out in some areas, but you can see the entire dungeon from like a eagle's kind of view. And if you just go straight down into the right past these rocks, you should come up on a little wooden area, and you can actually just finesse the chest out of here through the wall. So you should be able to do this very fast if you have some practice. I've only done it a few times to show off the glitches in the channels, but if you spam the open chest button right under the wood, look at that. You can get some really cool items from these two chests. There's two of them, remember. There we go. I got some pretty good stuff. I got Excalibur, which I actually haven't used yet. And you can just skip straight to the end and come in near the boss over here. So there's several ways to get into this boss area. I'm sure you guys have seen a few of them, but I like to go just right under here, go right back up through the top, and then get off your pal. You should be able to just go right through the floor there, and you can go up and beat the boss and open those two chests at the end. So in total, you're doing like 4 chests in only a minute. So you can grind this out over and over again. I'm going to show you guys in a minute how to make this extra fast too. And you can get some really good blueprints. This dungeon has like the best blueprints in the game right now, and it gives you a ton of XP and a bunch of other items. So look how many blueprints we got. Jeez Louise, that's actually a ton. So as you guys saw, that only took a minute. We got all those blueprints, we got all the XP, all the items from this dungeon, and we can just keep on doing that over and over again, giving you all of this times like 20. I would even like put a chest out here somewhere so you can just grind this out and fill entire chest worth of loot in very few amount of minutes. Probably like 30 minutes you'll get a full chest of loot. Another really important part of this glitch is if you set both your daytime multiplier and nighttime multiplier to the max, it will reset the dungeon very quickly, so you can spam this method. I've seen people do this over 100 times in an hour, and then is by far the fastest way to get the new legendary loot. I cannot stress this enough though, that the devs hate this kind of glitch and they are 100% aware of it. So if you're planning on doing any glitch in this video ASAP, this is the one to choose. Also, real quick guys, this isn't a glitch, but I wanted to include this here because when they do patch this glitch, the fastest way to get through the dungeon is forward, left, right, right. This lets you get directly to the boss in about 1 minute, and you can pause the video and screenshot or write it down yourself so you don't get lost in this confusing maze. You can still get the 2 chests at the end doing this the legit way using this method very quickly, but the glitch version lets you pick up chests along the way. Also, guys, real quick before we get on to the next game, I am placing a bonsai tree down here on my permanent glitch base whenever we get a subscriber from these videos. So if you want to sub up, go ahead and do that. You get your own bonsai tree. And if you want me to put a sign like I have for a few other people down there, just put your username down and I'll put your sign next to your bonsai tree. Our next glitch has to do with the Terraprisma blade, which you actually get in the dungeon from the last glitch. This blade is very, very cool. It's one of the new weapons in the new update, and it summons 9 of these really good swords to fight alongside you. And I thought this wasn't going to be as OP because it's in the new update, and some of those things really just aren't that great. But this is actually really good and a very, very cool weapon. It looks really cool. It does a ton of damage. It's just kind of the perfect weapon. So if you guys haven't got this or you don't think it's worth it, this is definitely a really worth it weapon to have. And there's a little glitch attached with it. So if you guys can see, you do summon 9 swords that attack with you, but when you die, these swords actually don't go away if you do this one specific thing. So I'm going to go show you guys an example, and this can be used, people in my comments said, on the tower bosses, on any kind of pal bosses, on any kind of normal pals. It just is a little bit of a cheat code to help you out if you manage to die in battle. So let me go show you guys what I'm talking about. Now, let's say you're fighting a pal like Dormontide. This pal was really hard for me to defeat the first time, but using this sword, it makes it a lot easier with this glitch after you die. Now, unfortunately, this glitch doesn't help you catch the pal. It's really only kill it, but watch what happens. So we're going to go ahead and die on purpose, and then you guys can see the blade still does a ton of work for us. So we're going to get this Dormontide as low as humanly possible, and then we're going to go ahead and let's pretend that we died to it in a battle, just like any normal player would when you're facing a pal this strong. Now, when you die, you guys can see I kind of cut it close right there, but these swords do not stop attacking as long as you do not press respawn. So you can see in the background, they're here just standing still, ready to attack any pal. I'll show you guys a better example because we got that really close to dying right before we died to it, but they will sit here and attack anyone as long as you do not press respawn. So if you actually manage to die while attacking this Dormontide, all you have to do is not respawn and your swords will finish off the kill for you. Let's say we're attacking a hard boss pal like this and a new level 60 pal. We're going to go ahead and die and look at our blades go. They're still going to be attacking her this entire time and they can actually kill this new pal. So again, it doesn't help with catching them because you can't actually catch them while you're dead, obviously. But if you just want to defeat a boss like a tower boss or a boss pal or anything like that and get the materials / XP from the pals, this glitch is extremely useful. If I was a lower level and I was having trouble with a tower boss or something like this, I would definitely do this glitch. And there you can see it actually just defeated the pal while we were dead. So we could go back and just get the materials, and I believe it gives you the XP too if we wanted. This glitch is extremely useful for taking down strong opponents. Now, the only bad thing about this glitch is it does still use durability, which means you're going to need a lot of materials to repair this sword. This is where the next glitch comes in. The duplication glitch that we've all heard about using the pillars is still in this game and probably the most overpowered glitch in the game right now. So I'm going to cut to a clip of my old video where I explain in detail how to do this and how to get it perfect every time. So I'm just going to hop straight into it. This is what the glitch is supposed to do. You're supposed to get on this pillar and like find the place to vibrate, and you'll like be able to place a bunch of things which you can break and then get the materials back. However, as you guys can see, I'm not vibrating. So I'm like a vibrator out of the batteries right now. I don't know how to vibrate. However, one thing I did figure out how to do is if you go into your graphic settings and if you turn your max FPS all the way down, I saw someone in a Reddit post do this, you can actually vibrate very easily. Like you can find it super easily. I pretty much find it instantly every time. There we go. Look how fast I find it. This is what it's supposed to look like. You can tell it's working if the base info in the top right keeps blinking on and off. So that is a very easy way to get that set up. Now I'm going to tell you how to get the pillars set up. So we're going to turn our FPS back up just for video purposes, but I'm going to lower it down later. And we're pretty much just going to speed run doing this because this has been in the game for a while. It hasn't been Unpatched, so you guys have probably seen some videos on this, so I'm not going to spend too long. However, you want to make sure all of your building materials besides the wood is in a chest. So any nails you got, any circuit boards or hexalite or coralum ingots, anything you build needs to be in the chest except wood. So you're going to need wood for the pillars, that's why I say except wood, but whatever you're duplicating, the items need to be in the chest. So if you're duplicating something with wood, you're going to have to put the wood in the chest too. That's just how it works. Now remember, you can duplicate anything that you can physically build in your base, so you can duplicate anything you see here. However, I'm just going to duplicate this advanced civilization workshop right here because it gives you ingots, it gives you hexalite, it gives you circuit boards, and it gives you nails. So keep an eye on how many coralum ingots we have right now. We have 200 just from duplicating, so I'm going to be duplicating this specific item right here. Now let's get into actually doing the glitch here. What we're going to want to do is get a wooden pillar. However, it's kind of hard to know where to put it and how to do it and everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for the long pillar. As you guys can see at the very top of your screen, one of these wooden things is longer than all the other ones. It's kind of hard to see, but we got it right there. So we're just going to face that exactly towards us, and then we're going to turn it to the left 7 times. So for me, it's down on the little scroll bar on the mouse. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're just going to place our crosshair perfectly on the blue line right here and place it down. So that is a very easy way to do that. Now remember guys, make sure you have no foundations here. You want no foundations here, and it's a lot easier if you're on flat land. So if we want to test that this worked correctly, we want to go to graphics and we want to turn down, oh, not that. We want to turn down our FPS all the way down to 30, and then we can just hop on the wooden bar, and look at that. I found it so quick. Once we got that correct, we're going to want to build a second pillar, just like the one out here, a little bit more inside of our base. So what I like to do is look at the middle, and the second that pixel touches the first one, the first pixel, you can see I'll zoom in the editing so you can see a little bit more what I'm talking about, but it's hard to explain. Right when the middle just touches, just like that, we're going to build that and then get rid of the first pillar. So now when we climb about halfway up, we should get a little lag effect. We want to make sure it's right on the edge of the base. It's kind of hard to get to the exact position. There we go. And our base info at the top right will start skimping just like that, and it will go in and out. Now remember guys, you move a tiny bit while you're doing this, so I'm completely still right now, but still going to push us out, so you have to be a little bit fast. So what we're going to do is go over and build a second one on top of here. It doesn't need to be lined up or anything, just build the wooden pillar, and that will make us be able to place what we want to place a lot faster and a lot further. So I'm going to just get it ready over here so we can place it and not have to worry about the time or anything. And I just want to find that exact spot. Oh, we almost found it right there, and just get ready to place this stuff when we're in the in out section, just like this. So I'm getting ready to place it. I got one down right there, but it's kind of hard to spot. I don't have like the best setup right here, but we can just place as many of these as we want. It's kind of hard in my base because I have stuff absolutely everywhere, and it's really annoying. But on your base, if you just do this on like a flat area, then it will make this a lot easier, trust me guys. I definitely should have done this in a flatter area, but you can see how it works. I only got 4 down right there, which is definitely good enough. And if you guys do this on a flatter area, you'll get a lot more. So remember, the amount of coralum ingots I had in the beginning was 200. So let's see how many we actually have now. Once we get rid of all of these things, we have 350 now. So that means I messed up on one of them. However, you can do this as many times as you want. Once it's set up, it's permanently there, and you can set this up a lot better than how I set it up too. I'm just setting it up as like a test example for you guys. Remember to make sure to put all of your materials back in the chest once you actually do that, but you can set this up a lot better than me. A lot of people don't have glitch bases like this, so I would definitely suggest doing this on like a better base location on the surface and not in any of these glitch base locations. So that is how you do the duplication glitch, probably the most important glitch in the entire game right now. But this next segment is going to be all the different glitch locations you can get to, including some where you can defeat bosses, including some where you can get the base that I have now, and some other secret bases. So these are all the glitch locations, the secret bases, all that kind of stuff. If you've already seen that, go ahead and skip to the next glitch. But This is very important because you can build some really cool stuff like this and even defeat the bosses, which I will show you in a second. Now, the other spots we're going to show off are a lot more useful for practical things like getting loot or defeating bosses, but this one is really cool for building bases. So the first thing we're going to do is head towards negative 1204 and negative 1388. You should be on this huge mountain kind of in the middle. You can see the rains to the left, some waterfalls over there where another glitch base I'm going to show later in the video is, and this little tunnel entrance here. So we're going to go inside of the tunnel entrance. This one is really easy, thankfully. You don't have to do too many things to get up to this glitched area. It's kind of dark and spooky and scary in here, but there's a little fungi that like glow and everything, so you shouldn't have too much trouble getting inside of here. Once you get to the end, you'll get to this beautiful little area where there's actually a boss pal. It seems I already defeated him, so he's not going to be here. Plus there's two little chests. So if you want to build a base right here, I actually don't know if you can. Yeah, it looks like you can. So this is already a pretty good base location, and you can see the lines for my glitch base up here. So you could have like a double decker base, like your normal base right here, and then your glitch base up there like me. But what you're going to do is get on your flying pal, and then I like to go in this spot right here, like near the front, and just fly straight up. And you can see it's glitching out right now. Your whole screen is black. You don't really know where you are right now. The top of this mountain is just extremely glitchy. So you're just going to want to get your way up here until you get to this area right here where you're kind of through the map, but you're not done yet. You kind of want to go to one of these little areas with the rocks that you can climb, and then you should be able to climb right through, get back on your pal, and you can fly straight up. So this is where I built my base. I just have a little quartz mining base up here, but you can explore this whole area. You can build a huge base right here if you want. You can go over here and build bases over there. It's pretty much an unlimited land expansion. Everyone always asks in the comments, what happens if they patch this area? What happens if they get rid of this area? Guys, they're not going to get rid of your base. As long as you build a base that you can TP here, you should be able to get here even if they patch the area. But we have a lot more exciting places to look at that I've shown in some of my other videos, so let's get into that. Next up, we have the Xenoloord or any other boss location where you can beat them really easily. I've shown this in a few videos, but I have to show you all the secret locations I know about, and it's quite a few, and this one's probably the most important one, except for the next one I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the dungeon one, so if you haven't seen that, I would definitely make sure you see that one. However, for the boss one, we're going to go to the pristine snowfield at negative 340 and 268. And once you get here, you're just going to head over to this little triangle rock, and there's a mountain right over here that you can easily glitch into. Let me kill an innocent civilian real quick. There we go. He is down, and we can just head straight over to this rock area. You can see this little triangle rock and the tree in the background. What you're going to want to do is they just patched this with this little gray rock texture right here. You can see the texture is kind of different. This is like gray and blue, and the other one's like mossy and green. All you're going to have to do is just crouch against here and then stand up. It is literally that easy. They did not do a very good job at patching that. They must have had like the 2-day McDonald's intern working on that. So you can very easily just get through it. And you can do all kinds of things in here. You can even build a base in here. I had a base in here at one point, and you can crawl along the entire mountain, and there is just a ton of space for doing all kinds of activities, all kinds of base building. I feel like this would be extremely overpowered on multiplayer, and you can just go in here and just do whatever your heart desires. And to get out, all you have to do is hop on your pal against a wall. It's extremely easy. But the main point for doing this is because I can summon bosses right out here. You can see the remnants of when I used to do it, and you can just shoot them through the wall or even get them stuck in the wall. I'm going to attach a few clips from my old video. I don't want to go over and spawn it in the same exact thing because I've already did that in an entire video, which if you guys want to watch, go ahead and do that. But the gist of it is you just spawn him in, and then you can shoot him through the walls, you can get him stuck in the wall, you can do all kinds of damage to him, and he can't really do anything to you. Sometimes one of his attacks do get through and hit you, but it makes it 1,000 times easier to just do damage to him. And there's little safe spots back here where you can hide if you need to regen and let your pals do the work. or set up a bunch of turrets or anything like that, so you can get really creative with it. And this glitch spot just has a ton of things to do with it, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone finds a way to beat the new boss or find some other really cool methods to kind of break the game and get unlimited loot. Now that we got done with those, the last two are just base locations. So I have this really cool base down here. I'm going to show you how to get down here, and they even have these little like weird shadow glitched pals that you actually can't catch, so I'm not sure what's good with those. When you throw a ball at them, they disappear. But if you want to get to this base location, it's extremely easy. All you have to do is come to the chords down here at -1174 and -1420, and you just go to the little waterfall. So just to clarify, there's a bunch of lakes over here. There's one lake, two lake, and then a river. All you have to do is come to the waterfall between lakes 1 and 2, and there will be a little pocket where you can just glitch through and get that entire underwater area all to yourself. So you're just going to want to swim around until you find it. It's going to look something like this. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see there's a little lines right there that don't all the way match up, and you can just climb right through them. So we're going to find the big one. Yep, right here. This one is definitely big enough for us to fit through. We just climb all the way to the bottom, and boom, now we have this entire location. There's even like souls or hexalite and stuff down here. Oh, okay, don't use a grappling gun or else you will get accidentally glitched out of your location, but it's fine. This one is definitely one of the easiest glitches in the game. I've showed this a bunch of times, but it's one of my favorite locations for sure, so I can't show it enough. Maybe you guys can just skip it if you've already seen it, but you get this entire open area all to yourself down here, and it is huge. So if I ever played on a multiplayer game, I'm definitely building a base down here. Now the next one is also a base I've shown a few times, and actually had a base in myself, but it's definitely worth having this in your arsenal in case they patch the other ones. This one's kind of a little more unknown, but we're just going to head to the chords down here at -670 and 193, and we're just going to head to the waterfall with this little rock to the right of it. It used to hold the pendant that increases your catching ability, but I already took that, and this one is extremely easy. All you have to do is run into this waterfall and it will automatically glitch you up. So it might take a few tries, but there we go. We ran into it and it glitched us to the top. Then you just go back a little bit, you deploy your glider, and you'll be in this cool little glitch black area. You can see I built down here before. All you have to do now is just go to the edge of the wall and you can climb right through. Bang! Now you can build a pretty good base up here. It's not as big as the other one, so I definitely recommend the other water base, but in case they like patch that, or you're on a multiplayer server where somebody already took that, this is definitely a good alternative. Now that is all the glitched areas. We're going to go to a throwback glitch next and look at the double oil rig on one single oil puddle glitch. I'm going to attach a clip of my old video where I show you guys how to do this. I just tested it the other day. This is not patched, but it is really hard to do. So first of all, I am over here in this direction at chords -850, -450. I just made a video on this location the other day, and if you're wondering why I'm in this location in specific, it is because we have 1, we have 2, and we have 3 oil spots in one base, which this is the only location in the entire game where you can have 3 oil spots in one base. And if you use this glitch to be able to get 2 in one single oil hole, well, then you'll have 6 oil drillers, and that is just insane. Like, you get so much crude oil from 6 of them at one base. Like, that is crazy. It looks a little bit empty because I don't really use this base anymore, but in order to place the oil things down, you actually need it to be a base, so I redid it. And we're going to look at a few other methods later on in oil to get crude oil, in order to get crude oil a lot faster, because I have like I have like 400 extra crude oil in here, and I only use this base for like a week, so it is insane. Now let's try and get right into it. We don't want to be yapping too much. Let me get the materials real quick in order to build this, and I will show you guys how to do this. Alright, so the important thing is, at this base, it's a little bit different than the other bases. I made a video a long time ago on the new island right over here at the top of the map, and it is a little bit different for these oil puddles, and it is a little bit harder. That is why this base location is by far the easiest way to do it, because these puddles, they're kind of just like, you don't really need to know what you're doing here. You can do it extremely easy. So
what I like to do is I like to face the two little big oil jugs. As you guys can see, they're on the right now. Right now they're on the left, just so you see what I'm talking about. I like to face them towards me, and then what I do is I hold control to make them do this. I'm not sure what the button is on PS5, but whatever button it is, or on Xbox, or whatever you're on, Mac I think has Palworld now, whatever you're on to make it do this, like make it adjust a little bit on the build, you're going to want to hold that down, and you're just going to want to get it to the side as much as possible. Like, it needs to be about right, like right there. Now that actually might be it. Let's see if I can fit it in right here. Nope, it looks like we didn't get it. It's going to be hard to get it on the first try. This is definitely going to take a while, so be warned, guys. This is the hardest glitch in the entire game. It might not even be a glitch. It might be like an exploit or whatever. Some of you guys get mad when I say glitch when it's supposed to be exploit, but pretty much it's really hard to do. You can try it from the other side if you want to. One tip, oh wait, that might be it. No, it doesn't look like that is. You kind of just want to get it like on its side right there, and most of the time you can try and slip it in on the other side. One huge tip I have for doing this, guys, is there's no easy way to do it. Of course, you're going to be sitting here forever if you're trying to do this, because it takes a really long time. However, one tip I have, guys, is if the second one doesn't go in fast, that means it doesn't work. So for the first one, you can take your time, you can try and line it up, but as you guys can see, the second one isn't going in immediately, so that's how I know it doesn't work. Most of the time when you actually get it to work, the second one kind of gets put in immediately, so you don't really have to like sit there and wait for the second one. Now I'm holding control to do this. I know a lot of people have said like you don't really have to hold control. Pretty much there's just a million different ways to do this, and not one way is going to be right or wrong, I mean, but this one definitely is what works for me. So I like holding control, and like I said, if the second one doesn't go in immediately, that means you probably did not do it right. So you don't have to sit here and waste that much time with the second oil extractor, because if it doesn't go in super fast, oh, I think we got it right there. Yep, look at that. Then it's not going to work. Boom. So that is proof it actually still works in the new update. Let me get my Anubis out and build these two, and you guys can see how fast it is. There we go. I have a bunch of electric pals to power this, because one warning, guys, this is going to take a lot of electricity. Even one of these takes a ton of electricity, so two of these is going to take a lot more, and imagine how much electricity it will take if you put all 6 of them on different puddles. So
one other quick little cheat for getting oil is if you have access to your world settings, you can come all the way down here and turn your meteorite supply drop interval all the way to 1, and that will make it so a meteorite slash supply drop comes pretty much every single minute, and each of those has oil attached to them. So there's a few other methods to get a ton of oil. Personally, I like doing this. I like butchering kits. I like doing all kinds of stuff, but let's get into the best glitch in the game, in my opinion right now, the XP glitch, which does still work. I'm going to show you guys live right now. I'm going to take along a really low level pal with me. Let's take along this level 2 right here, and I do have my XP turned up, guys, but that doesn't really matter because this will give you an absurd amount of XP no matter what your XP is set to. The only thing we're going to need is a little bit of wood so we can build the hanging trap, and we're going to go find ourselves a Meemog. So you would think this glitch would work with any kind of pal, but for some reason it only works with the Meemog. I don't know why, but my favorite part to find Meemogs is all the way over on the right side of the map, over here in this little lava area, so I'm going to head over there. Now I've shown this glitch a few times before on my channel, and you guys are really convinced this one is patched too. Like this glitch, I get the most comments out of any that's saying it's patched or it doesn't work anymore. This because it's kind of takes a little bit to get used to and to do. It kind of has a few directions, so I'm going to go over every single direction here. It should be pretty fast. It's not like a hard glitch to do or anything, but you have to do it correctly. Like some of you guys aren't doing it all the way right, and then it doesn't work. This isn't one of the glitches where you can just like wing it and it's probably going to work. You have to get every single direction right or it's not going to work. So make sure you bring Arena Mercy along too. I forgot to mention that, but you will need Arena Mercy, and if you don't have that, you can buy it for pretty cheap over here at the small settlements. So you already should have Arena Mercy. A lot of people get them really early, but you're going to need that. So if you don't have one, go buy one. And then our next step is to go find a wild Meemog, which might take a few minutes, but usually they're around this area. There we go, I found one really fast actually. What you're going to want to do is trap him, and guys, make sure you have your Rain the Mercy on. So this is the most important part. Make sure you have your Rain the Mercy on, and then we're just going to absolutely light this guy up. And if you're doing it correctly, you should be able to do as much damage as you possibly want and never kill him, since obviously you have the Ring of Mercy on. And the way this glitch works is the more damage you do for some reason in this game, the more XP you get. But it's not supposed to be able to scale this high. Killing a level 20 Meemog with max XP settings on probably gets you what, like 200,000 XP, something like that probably, if I had to guess. Let's see how much XP we get at the end of this. So I'm just going to sit here and waste a bunch of ammo on this Meemog over here, and then we're going to see how much XP we get at the end when we kill him. Just make sure, guys, for this glitch to work the correct way, do not take off your Rain of Mercy. You can't take it off the entire time or it won't work. For some reason, it like stores all the XP inside of the Rain of Mercy, so the glitch will not work if you take this off. Just do some damage to this guy right here. I'm going to do a bunch, and then in a second when I run out of ammo, we're going to kill him and see how much XP we get. Spoiler alert, it's going to be in like the millions. Alright, we're just about to run out of ammo. Now for the next step, the final step in this is he needs to die of natural causes somehow. So you can get another pal to come over and shoot him, or like a bandit or whatever. But what I like to do is I like to take out my torch and hit him a few times until he catches on fire and dies. And look at that, guys. We instantly got our pal that we brought that was level 2 all the way to level 65 in what, like 2 minutes. Holy cow. I think that was 35 million XP. So this glitch definitely still works, guys. Even if you have your XP settings turned up or down or whatever, you should not be getting 35 million experience points off of one level 20 pal. So that's definitely a very, very easy way to rank up. That will rank up your level. That will rank up all of your pal levels. It is one of the best glitches in the game right now. And I am doing this live right now on the Terraria update. It is not patched. Now it's time to go over a few of the smaller glitches, which I have gone over a few times, but they're still not patched. Like this glitch where you can stack farms, very, very useful. However, the quick food glitches we want to go over real quick is if you have food in your inventory, everybody knows this by now, but it's still not patched. If you press sort, the timer will go back to whatever it is. So you can see it's at 20 minutes, it's counting down. All you have to do is press sort. Boom, it's back at 20 minutes. So that's how to make your food last forever. Or if you don't want to build a refrigerator or whatever, because they aren't that good, all you have to do is build a guild chest, and if you put the food in there, it will never expire, never go bad. So that is a much better way to storing food than like storing it in the freezer, the fridge, or whatever. However, let's move on to the farm glitches. This is where I want to teach you how to build these glitched farms where they stack right on top of each other. You can see I have some over there, and it just makes it extremely useful. Now you should probably know how to do this by now, but I know there's a ton of new players coming every single update, so we're going to go over how to do this. What you're going to want to do is grab a few benches and build them up at your base. I like to do 3 benches just like this, and then we can grab the farms. Now some people in the comments have told me if you hold control, you can like line them up super fancy and get them to look really nice. I don't really care about how they look as long as they work. So if you place one farm, you're going to want to jump and break the bench, and then jump and place another farm and break the bench below that. So we're just doing this in a pattern. Break that bench, place the farm, break that bench, place the farm, break that bench, place the farm. So let's try and get this last one. Sometimes the last one is a little bit hard to get. Boom, there we go. And make sure not to build these guys. They need to be blue / unbuilt this entire time until you get all 4. So you can build these up as high as you possibly want with the different benches. You can build them up like 20, 10, 30 high if you want. So just do that, and these will have plenty of benefits. First of all, the base territories aren't that big, so it's really useful to save a bunch of space. And when your pals are planting these plants, they'll plant all 4 of them sometimes, or all 30 of them if you have 30 up, and it makes it a lot easier for your pals to collect the plants, it makes it a lot easier for them to grow. It just makes them a lot faster, a lot more efficient, and it saves a ton of space. You can see I have a bunch of one. This is kind of like my little farm area right here. I have 16 farms in the space of 3 farms. So it is extremely efficient and way easier to build it like that. You can even do it with ranches, which I'm about to show you guys in a second.
Let's just get straight into it. Let's make this really fast. We're just going to make a little foundation. I believe mine is 5 by 5. So we have a 5 by 4 actually stone foundation right here. So 5 this way, 4 this way, and this is also going to be needed to be at a PAL base, so make sure you have a PAL box down wherever you're trying to do this, because you can only place wrenches in a PAL box area or a base. So anyways, once you have this little foundation down, you are going to put stone walls 4 high up. You can actually go as high as you want, I believe, with this glitch, but we're just going to make it super simple and we're only going to do 4. Maybe if you guys do this glitch at your own base and you get it down, you can go even higher, but for now we're just going to do 4. So once you are done with 4, pay attention to this step, because a lot of the times I messed this step up and it was really annoying, and it doesn't work if you don't get this step right. So all you're going to need to do is hold control, and you're going to want to place it just right here. Now this part is like really kind of hard, because what you're not going to want to do is you're not going to want to do this. You're not going to want to like see how it's unconnected here, and I can move it wherever and I can just put it like right there, like super close to the wall. That's actually not what you're going to want to do. You want to make sure you're holding control, and you want to make sure it snaps into place. So you can see right there, it doesn't snap into place, it's just going all over. But if we look towards the middle of the box, it actually snaps into place and we don't need to put it anywhere. So we're going to put that right there, and then I have my work speed turned all the way up for this, so I can just instantly build it. And you're just going to want to connect them wherever you can. Sometimes they're not going to snap into place, sometimes they do. Sometimes your PAL is going to get in the way, so that's okay. So you can see this part right here on the left wasn't snapping into place, but you're just going to keep on snapping. See, this one isn't snapping into place, and that's completely fine, because as you build the other ones, more and more will snap into place. So just build as many crates as you can. We're going to want 3 crates on the right, actually 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and 1 in the middle, making it 3 altogether on either side, so 5 in total. So you're just going to build 2 layers of these crates. It is kind of complicated on your first try, but once you get it down, you will easily be able to do it. So you can see how I can't place one right here. That's completely fine. All we're going to have to do is build these 2, and then you can place it. So it's a little bit complicated at first, but once you get it down, it's going to be really easy. So as you guys can see, this one is sliding, which means it's not going to work, which means we don't want to do that. So we're just going to go on to the next one, and as we build them, more and more are going to snap into place. So don't worry if like 1 or 2 of them isn't snapping into place and you're like panicking because you did it wrong. Do not worry, just snap the other ones into place and they'll all come together at some point. There we go. Now that we have a perfect 5 crates in a row with 2 layers up, now what we are going to want to do is place 1 more crate right here. There we go. And this is just going to be our placement crate to make it easier to build the ranches. Now we can go 1 more layer up, or 2 more layers up, or 3 more layers up, whatever we want, but we don't really want to do that right now, just for you know, teaching purposes. We don't want to go too high up, but theoretically you can go as high as possible, and I think you can even do this with like breeding grounds and other kinds of base buildings and things like that. But we're just going to stick to the ranch right now, and I kind of like how the ranch looks. It's kind of OP, so we're just going to want to put the ranch as close to the wall as possible. And now we can start going Bob the Builder, just destroying absolutely everything. Wreck-It Ralph maybe is a better reference there, but there we go. Let's place our second one right against the wall. Now we destroy this layer, and you can build these if you want. I don't know if it actually matters if you build them mid glitch that we're doing, but it's whatever. We're just going to finish all 3 of them, and then we can build all 3 of them, and there we go. We have all 3 built, and all 3 glitch stacked on top of each other. All right, that was the unlimited ranch glitch. Now we have 1 more to go over, and that is the gold marketeer glitch, which I've shown a few times, but there is some new ways to deal with it and get even more gold. So we're going to show that off. First of all, you can go to any black marketeer. I like going over here to the Eastern Wild Islands.
and then hopping on my pal and just going straight. And there is a nice little black marketeer island over here. Not island, but this is his little settlement where he stays. He plays games down here. He's chilling over here. So in case you want the exact chords, they are over here at 460, negative 120. And what you can do with this black marketeer is there used to be a ton of glitches to get gold out of him, but they've kind of been patched throughout the seasons. However, there is still one that works really well with the hanging trap. So make sure you get him where he's facing this way, and make sure you get behind him, or else you're going to have a ton of different police officers or whatever they are chasing you, and it is really annoying. So if you throw your pal out and tell him to attack, it won't do anything because it's been patched. It used to be able to attack him and it used to be really good, but you can pretty much just attack him from back here. Make sure you attack him from behind, because like it says criminal activity underway, and that is really annoying when you get caught by the cops and everything. So just get him behind and then go ahead and catch him. Alright, he got stuck in the wall somehow, but I already have him caught, and then we're just going to go back to your base, and you should get a bunch of gold plus some gold keys and everything out of him. And if you fly away after you catch him, you only have to fly to like that tower and come back, and he'll be completely respawned, and you can just do this over and over and over again, and he gives you a ton of gold. Like, I only did it a few times and I already have 400,000 gold, and now I'm going to show you a pretty good way to get XP from him back at the base. A very good way to trade your gold for the XP once you get him is put him out at your base, and then every time you buy one of his pals, you're actually going to get some XP. You can't see it here because I'm already level 65 and so are all of my pals, but trust me, you'll get some XP. And then if you run out of pals to buy, all you have to do is put him back in the box and he completely resets. So you can buy as many as you want, you get a bunch of XP. That one actually had some really good stats. You can put him back in the box, take him back out. This is a very good way to get gold and XP. So that is it, guys. That is all the glitches I know about. Feel free to sub up if you want. I'm posting videos all this month about all kinds of new glitches, guides, all that kind of stuff. And let me know if you guys know any other glitches. I'll make a video about it. Remember, if you want your own bonsai tree, your own sign and everything, just let me know in the comments your username and make sure to sub up.